This is the ultimate Bikini Bottom size comparison, and I've got it all. From background fish to all the best loved characters, I'm going to be looking at every person in town to find out who the tallest Bikini Bottomite really is. Starting with the tiniest of terrors, Sheldon J. Plankton. It could only be him, couldn't it? Standing at a meager half an inch, Plankton is the smallest critter in Bikini Bottom, but don't let his size fool you, Plankton can still pack a punch.
Hear me, Krabs. I'll run you out of business. When I discover your formula for Krabby Patties, I went to college!
Well, verbally, anyway. You guys might have heard of small man syndrome in humans, but believe me, Plankton has the same thing going on.
And your son smells like boogers! I'm Plankton, you old hag!
Hey, what do you think this is? You can't talk to my wife that way!
I think it's time for you to lose some weight, fatty, that's what it is!
But no matter how large his mech may be, it does not take long for Plankton to get stepped on. His size can come in handy though, being that small means you can hide in certain places like in a ketchup bottle.
You're all mine, you sweet Krabby Patty.
Or when you meet a life-sized robot of Mr. Krabs.
That's right, I am Krabs.
What now, Mr. Krabs?
Your master, your boss, your ruler.
Although no matter what, the outcome is still the same.
And like this. And more recently, like this.
So being that small clearly sucks if you live in Bikini Bottom, but not all the tiny folk have it bad, because there's a certain snail who's living the life of luxury under the sea. To give him his full name, Gerald Gareth Gary Wilson Jr., or just Gary the Snail. This snail stands at right around 1.2 inches tall, and like Plankton, there's plenty of personality in that small body.
I am really not amused, mister. You are going to take a bath. And you are going to get clean right now. I am so the boss of you.
But unlike Plankton, Gary's a good guy at heart, and when SpongeBob needs him most, he's always there to help, like the time he stopped an angry swarm of jellyfish. Or when SpongeBob came down with a case of the ick and Gary, being a bottom feeder, stepped up to help his best pal.
Another $5 for another dickin'.
Look, Gare, you're the best bottom feeder a sponge could ever have.
That icky stuff is a lot better than the stuff he usually eats, that's for sure. But sometimes, half a conch can't fill this little guy up. He's always after treats, and in one episode, he even comes begging to the Krusty Krab for some.
Gary, you're causing a scene!
I guess you could say he's cat-sized, and to be fair, he does meow. So we got Gary covered, but let's go a little left field. Usually I'd go straight to the main man himself, but how about his evil counterpart, DoodleBob? You'd think because DoodleBob is Sponge's twin that he'd be the same height, but no actually, he's a little bit smaller, standing at right around 3.8 inches tall. Instead of sweetness and light, DoodleBob is chaos personified. He's brought to life when a magic pencil falls into the ocean and SpongeBob draws a self-portrait to talk to Squiddy.
He's beating up Squidward!
DoodleBoy, stop!
Okay, more like beat Squiddy to a pulp, but he doesn't stop there either. Now alive, DoodleBob makes it his mission to wreak as much havoc as possible, and he does that by stealing the magic pencil and drawing stuff to use against the real SpongeBob.
I created this monster, and I've got to stop him. See what I mean, Patrick? You're flying.
Where's the leak, ma'am?
And Patrick. Can't forget what he does to Patrick. In fact, if anything, Pat gets the worst of it.
You okay, Patrick?
Finland!
While DoodleBob is busy messing with Pat, SpongeBob manages to grab the pencil and uses the eraser to put a stop to the madness.
This is for your own good. Hold still, Doodle. Take that. And this. And this.
But he doesn't finish the job. He leaves one of DoodleBob's limbs alive, and it waits for the right moment to grab the pencil away again and draw the deranged drawing back to life.
Oh, hey, Magic Pencil. What are you doing up? DoodleBob!
He's back and wants revenge. Knowing the powers of the erasing end of the pencil, DoodleBob tries to rub SpongeBob out of existence.
Careful with that thing. I knows.
There's one thing SpongeBob hasn't figured out yet, though, and it's that when a living drawing touches paper, it gets trapped. So that's exactly what he does to save himself and the rest of Bikini Bottom.
Hey, SpongeBob.
Take a look for yourself, Patrick.
What's with all the ruckus? It's the evil Doodle!
No, not evil.
Good riddance, I say. But we've had enough of looking at the cheap knockoffs. Let's take a look at the real deal, the main man himself, SpongeBob SquarePants. Clocking in at 4 inches tall, the main man himself certainly isn't the tallest guy in town. Heck, he's not even the tallest guy on his street.
That's just annoying. That's not art. That's the lamest idea I have ever heard.
In the episode Sleepy Time, we actually see canonical proof that SpongeBob is only 4 inches tall, thanks to a sneak peek at his driver's license.
Wait a minute. I don't have a driver's license.
His size isn't really a problem for him day to day. There was a time when he got a little self-conscious about being small, so he did this.
SpongeBob, is that you?
Who are you expecting? Tiny Tim? Big aren't they?
Then there was the episode The Chaperone. Basically, Pearl's prom date dumps her, and to stop her from crying, Mr. Krabs nominates SpongeBob to be her new date. But they're not exactly similar sizes.
Here, take SpongeBob.
Do you know what that would do to my complexion? People will mistake me for a planetarium.
But with no one else offering, Pearl has no choice but to take SpongeBob to the prom. But before they get there, Sponge sets his heart on looking long, tan, and handsome.
Hello? Cleans up pretty good, doesn't he? What do you think, Pearl?
Well, he's got the long part covered, that's for sure. Controlling those spring-loaded legs isn't gonna be easy, though. He looks like Bambi on ice.
Just a second.
Will you hurry up?
I know he's really trying to make an effort for her and to make Pearl feel better about her height, but man, he really can't control those legs.
Are you sure you can do this?
With the new legs broken and prom almost ruined, SpongeBob's actually the one in tears because the little guy had tried so hard to make Pearl's prom special. And after seeing him so upset, Pearl says to hell with her image and just has fun with her friend, who's now back to his normal size.
Well, when you take your leg and you stick it in the air, and then you take the other one and jam it right up there, you twist yourself around and give a great big lunge. Now you're doing the sponge. I do the sponge, or do the sponge.
And just like that, Pearl's happy, SpongeBob's happy, and more importantly, Mr. Krabs is happy. I guess size doesn't matter. Well, I'm not sure I'm qualified to answer that one, actually. But I am qualified to talk about the size of our next Bikini Bottomite, none other than Sandy Cheeks. She's Bikini Bottom's resident air breather and super genius. But while her brain is huge, she's not the biggest of critters, standing at right around 5.1 inches tall.
That's how I like my air. Hi-ya! Oh!
When she's out of her underwater gear, Sandy's barely taller than SpongeBob, but she's also one of the only characters in the show that can drastically change her size. Sure, SpongeBob can suck up a load of water and Plankton can build mechas, but Sandy, all she's gotta do is go through hibernation. Basically, to make sure she's got enough food while she sleeps for the entire winter, Sandy goes into town chowing down on a bunch of acorns.
Howdy! If y'all are watching this, this sleep is called hibernation. That means I'm asleep for the winter.
The main thing about hibernation is that you shouldn't disturb the animal that's sleeping through it, otherwise they can get pretty cranky. And when you see the size of hibernation Sandy, you'll 100% not want to mess with her.
Which one of you fellers is the real Dirty Dan?
Now obviously that isn't her real size, so I can't really count that, but I thought I'd mention it as it's kind of something we don't see that often. But yeah, usually she's just a pint-sized Texan squirrel who loves karate.
I love karate.
I hate all of you.
carrot cake.
I love money, eh?
Well, we've just seen some chopping. How about some slashing? As the next character on our list is the mythical Hash-Slinging Slasher. He sounds pretty big and scary, don't he? But the HSS isn't that big of a guy. He's only a third of an inch taller than Sandy. But trust me, when you hear about his legend, you won't care if he's 10 times smaller than Plankton. Basically, when Mr. Krabs starts opening the Krusty Krab at night to entertain himself and scare SpongeBob, Squidward makes up a story about the Hash-Slinging Slasher.
Most people just call him because that's all they have time to say. The hat before he gets up.
Tell me the story!
To signal his arrival, there are 3 signs.
First, the lights will flicker on and off.
Okay, light flickering on and off, that's the first sign. What's next?
Next, the phone will ring and there will be nobody there.
The coldest of cold calls. I can only imagine what the final sign is.
The Hash-Slinging Slasher arrives in the ghost of the bus. Then he exits the bus without looking both ways because he's already dead.
Okay, that one's actually a bit unnerving, but it's only a story, right? The Hash-Slinging Slasher isn't real. Is he?
I didn't know the buses ran this late.
They don't.
Yeah, I spoke too soon. I mean, obviously I knew, but I'm just being cheeky with y'all. As the boys prepare to meet their end, it actually turns out to be just their scared imaginations getting the better of them. So he's just some greasy kid. The great Hash-Slinging Slasher is still in school, and you guys were all scared. He sure isn't the scariest, he sure isn't the tallest, but the legend of the HSS is bigger than us all. After that spooky segue, it's time to head back on over to Con Street now, as next on our list is the one and only Patrick Star. If this comparison list was on how wide the people are in Bikini Bottom, that you better believe Pat would be towards the top of that pile, because my boy can frackin' eat.
You took my only food. Now I'm gonna starve.
But in terms of height, Patrick isn't teeny tiny. He hits the height charts at right around 6.5 inches, which actually puts him above the average incidental fish.
Hey pal, you just blowing from Stupid Town?
Granted, his pointy head is doing some heavy lifting for him in that regard, but if his head wasn't so narrow, maybe he'd have, you know, an actual brain in there.
Is this the Krusty Krab? No! This is Patrick!
Patrick, that's the name of the restaurant.
Fish paste!
But the biggest thing when it comes to Patrick isn't his height or his belly, it's his heart. Yeah, super corny and all, but Pat can be a proper caring guy, especially to his friends. Like when he hyped up SpongeBob to take the job at the Krusty Krab in the first place.
Who made a spatula out of toothpicks and woodchuck?
I did.
Whose first words were, "May I take your order"?
Mine were.
Who's a big yellow cube with holes?
I am!
Who's ready?
I'm ready!
Or the time he accidentally leaves SpongeBob in the most creepy place imaginable, but still gets a bus back to save him anyway, even if it is too late.
Home at last.
Don't worry, SpongeBob, I'm coming back for you.
So yeah, well, that's kind of being a good friend. It's not exactly heroic, is it? And it's funny I should say that, because we got one hell of a hero for you next as we take a look at Mermaid Man. Man, that feels weird just saying Mermaid Man without adding Barnacle Boy at the end, but don't worry, he'll be coming a little later. For now, though, let's just focus on the main hero, not the sidekick. Sorry, Barnacle Boy. Mermaid Man stands at more or less the same height as Patrick, so that's 6.5 inches. Yeah, I know he's human and all that, so how is it that he's that small? Well, we literally know SpongeBob is 4 inches tall, and Mermaid Man isn't that much bigger than him. So, I mean, I don't know, man. Maybe part of his powers is being able to shrink down to marine life. Anyway, here they are, getting called into action.
The conch signal!
And he's not as slick of a hero as you'd expect these days.
Mermaid Man! And Barnacle. Activate torpedo mode!
Well, I guess neither of them are. Most heroes have their weaknesses, you know, like for Superman it's kryptonite, well, for Mermaid Man it's ice cream.
With bran sprinkles. Goes right through me every time.
In all fairness to Mermaid Man, he's ancient here, so the fact that he's this shriveled and still somehow as tall as Patrick is pretty impressive if you ask me. I mean, here he is in his prime.
That's what you think. But my stalwart companion Barnacle Boy and I beg to differ with you. Sorry, Man Ray.
Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy?
He's even taller than Barnacle Boy there. It does make you wonder how tall those guys really were because, like I said, there's no way they were originally only a few inches tall. Unless that whole nuclear mutation theory around the show is right, but I digress. Now, the next fish I want you to look at, you might not know by name. His name is Tom, sometimes known as Incidental Fish 6, but you'll know him as the guy who really, really loves chocolate. Before we get into his cocoa cravings, he's about a half an inch taller than Patrick and Mermaid Man, coming in at around 7.2 inches. We see his obsession with sweet treats in the episode Chocolate with Nuts, where Sponge and Pat are trying to earn a few bucks selling chocolate bars on the side.
Did you say chocolate? Chocolate? Chocolate!
Yes, sir. With or without nuts.
Chocolate! Chocolate! Chocolate!
Yeah, that guy is nuts. Anyway, the pair don't let one psycho stop them from selling the sweet stuff, but they realize they're gonna have to twist the truth like normal commercials do in order to make some sales.
Oh, but this chocolate's not for eating. It's for...
No. You rub it on your skin, and it makes you live forever.
Live forever, you say? I'll take one.
Seeing as they got that unwrapped mummy to buy a bar, they keep up the tall tales in order to sell more and more of the stuff. They also keep getting conned by some crooked fish, but that doesn't matter because Tom's about to catch up to them.
I've been trying to catch you boys all day! Finally!
No, don't hurt us! No, please don't hurt me, please!
Now that I've got you right where I want you, I'd like to buy all your chocolate.
I'm not too sure you're gonna want to buy Pat's secret stash there, Tom, but hey, it's not my money. You buy what you need to buy. He splashes the cash and the boys have more money than they know how to spend.
First, we gotta spend all the money.
Are we living the fancy life yet, SpongeBob?
Not yet, Pally.
Just goes to show you can't really judge a book by its cover. I 100% thought Tom was gonna be a horrible lunatic when I first saw this episode, but turns out he's actually a pretty lovely guy, which is the exact opposite of our next character, Kevin the sea cucumber. Look, there's no nice way of saying this. This 7.7-inch sea cucumber is a real jerk. He's part of the Jelly Spotters, the most famous jellyfishing club in Bikini Bottom, and let's just say the fame goes straight to Kevin's head, especially when it comes to Sponge Boy.
No, wait!
Why don't you go jump off a building?
I would do anything for you.
Huh?
Anything.
He spots a huge fan, and instead of trying to uplift him, Kevin manipulates him to doing all sorts of weird stuff to try and humiliate him during the jellyfishing convention.
This guy's great! That is the best! We have got to bring this guy jellyfishing with us.
Knowing he can push SpongeBob around and use him as his personal punching bag, Kevin invites him to a jellyfish field with the spotters under the promise he can join the club if he proves himself.
Nothing like driving through jellyfish fields with the top down, eh, jelly spotters?
And no, carrying like 6 people on his back isn't enough proof. The gang wants him to catch some jellyfish, but they don't realize they're dealing with a pro.
Catch a jellyfish. Your first test?
Am I a jelly spotter now? Hey, I caught one!
That doesn't count. Ouch!
He glides right through their tests with ease. The jellyfish are practically jumping in his net.
I meant 20 jellyfish!
Oh, 1, 2, 3.
But no matter what SpongeBob does, Kevin keeps changing the deal, and they eventually set up a test that they know SpongeBob can't pass. Catching a queen jellyfish. They literally string him up as bait, and they give him a special calling device to attract the queen.
When I pass this test, I'll be an official jellyfish spotter.
Loser.
Yeah, that thing is saying loser, isn't it? And right on cue, the queen shows up. And what's that? Kevin and the gang coincidentally aren't around to catch it? Oh, big shocker. After nearly frying SpongeBob alive, it turns out that the queen isn't actually a real jellyfish, and instead it's Kevin and the gang and a giant robot in the least surprising twist ever.
Kevin!
That's right! You should have seen the look on your face when we zapped you!
Man, I told you this guy was a jerk. But don't worry, life has a funny way of coming back to bite people like Kevin. And in his case, it's a sting by the biggest jellyfish of them all.
King Jellyfish.
Nidaria Rex!
A love sting, that is. Turns out pretending to be a queen jelly has attracted the king. And when they find out Kevin's the one behind all this, His Royal Highness sure ain't happy. The king traps the entire team inside a cave and Kevin has no answers to help them. Turns out he's all for show, so SpongeBob steps up to save everyone.
I can't believe it!
SpongeBob's bubble comes to the rescue. Meanwhile, Kevin's bubble bursts and he has to give him his jellyfishing crown, metaphorically and literally.
Wow! I didn't know this was a hat.
It wasn't.
Kevin might not be the tallest fella in the seas, but that sea cucumber is a huge jerk. Also, as a side note, we'll be coming back to this episode a little later, but for now, our attention turns towards the cheapest crustacean in the 7 seas, Eugene Krabs. For your run-of-the-mill crab, Mr. Krabs is quite tall. Granted, he's no Japanese spider crab, those things can get up to 10 feet in height, but Eugene sits at a more modest 7.9 inches, which is nearly 2 bigger than the average. For crabs. He's right around your average height for Bikini Bottom. Not some great big outlier here, unless you're Plankton, that is.
A spider bug.
Now I know what you're thinking. A lot of Mr. Krabs' height comes from his eyes, and yeah, it does. But if we count Gary's eyes and Plankton's antenna, it's only fair that we count his peepers too. Although if you do take his eyes out of the shell, this is what he looks like.
It sure is dark in here. Look, Mr. Krabs, I'm you.
SpongeBob, you're a genius!
Sorry to remind you of that image. I'm sure that has scarred you as it has me. I guess Krabs needed the extra height to look bigger to his opponents. I mean, he's not exactly a soft belly, is he? He's ex-Navy, and he loves the idea of a fight.
Well, maybe we wouldn't sound so bad
What did you say, punk?
if some people didn't try to play with big, meaty claws.
Well, these claws ain't for just attracting mates.
Big, meaty claws!
Which is pretty crazy when you think about how tiny he was, even as a kid. Like, look at the size and attitude of that guy, and then compare him to this little tyke.
You may think Mr. Eugene H. Krabs has always been the financial wizard he is today. And you're right.
Despite Mr. Krabs' more than average size, it's kind of a funny coincidence that the woman in his life happens to be taller than him, Mrs. Puff. But just as a side note, Pearl's mom was a whale, so clearly he's got a thing for taller women. Or maybe she was adopted. I actually don't know. Anyway, Penelope Puff. Or Mrs. Puff if you're SpongeBob. Or Puff Mama to her friends. She's by no means gigantic, but she stands at a pretty decent 8.5 inches. Here she is next to Eugene for comparison.
I'd rather go Dutch, if you don't mind. I'm afraid I just don't feel comfortable accepting all these gifts.
Okay.
I can see why Krabs likes her now. When she's not on dates with him, though, she's working down at the Bikini Bottom boating school, and let's just say it's not exactly a rewarding job.
What about the teacher? What? As if I really look like this.
I actually think she'd take being made fun of if it meant that she didn't have to step foot in a boat with SpongeBob again.
Mrs. Puff, Mrs. Puff.
Whoa!
It's okay. It's only the boat.
The boat? You started the boat?
I think so.
You can't really blame her. She hates being around SpongeBob, and she's not alone. There's another guy we haven't talked about yet who hates that sponge more than Mrs. Puff, and he also lives on Con Street. Squidward. Squidward, what's the guy's last name again?
Thank you, Mr. Tennis Balls.
No, that's not it.
The first place snail racing cup presented to Squidward Tortellini
No, that's not it either.
Tentacles.
Oh, yeah, it's Tentacles. Well, good old Squiddy's a pretty tall cephalopod. He's right around the 9.6 inches mark, which means he's usually the tallest creature in the Krusty Krab.
It's been a thrill serving you.
Can I get some extra salt?
No,
Could you check?
we're all out.
And yeah, that means he's taller than Mr. K, too.
You lose.
Need some change?
No, because I'm all out of
Money!
Well, it's time to go from one big nose to another now as we circle back to look at the second half of the crime-fighting duo, Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy. When we looked at Mermaid Man earlier, we saw that Barnacle Boy was in fact taller than him in his old age, but he's also taller than Squidward.
The pipsqueak patty for the boy, and one Krabby Patty for me.
Now, wait just a darn minute.
He's bending his knees there too, but for fairness, I'll say that Barnacle Boy stands at around 10.2 inches tall. And like Mermaid Man, he's in his golden years, so when he was a young man like Squid is, he'd be even taller.
What do you make of this, Barnacle Boy?
Tangled timeline, Mermaid Man.
You old coots provided me the perfect distraction.
As you can see, his younger self towers over his older version. I guess it's all the dangerous hero work he's done over the years that's made him shrink. Like the time he met an old enemy, the atomic flounder.
Do that!
I can see why he looks pretty battle-scarred. I know we focused a little on these guys already, so I'll leave Barnacle Boy there, as it's time to enter the giants of the sea now. These guys are going to quickly get bigger and bigger, and when you think of big and SpongeBob, it's not hard to think of Bubble Bass. He's a pretty big fella, and when we first see him in the episode Pickles, he marches up to the cash register to make his order.
Let me guess, Tiny, a small salad?
He's at least 4 inches taller than Squid here, so I'm going to put Bubble Bass down as being a little over a foot tall. When you're that tall, I guess you need some serious food to keep you going, and this guy does not disappoint when he orders.
I'll take a double triple bossy deluxe on a raft and a squeeze, light axle grease make it cry, 4x4 animal style, extra shingles with a shimmy, burn it and let it swim.
We serve food here, sir.
That actually means something, but I forgot what it means. Let me know down in the comments if you know what Bubble Bass's order was. Anyway, SpongeBob whips up that weird order in no time, but when Bubble Bass eats it, it's not exactly what he ordered.
You forgot the pickles! The best there is? I don't think so.
After Sponge forgot the pickles, Bubble Bass demands a refund, and obviously Krabs has to fork it out, but the financial damage is pretty small compared to the damage it's done to SpongeBob's confidence. I mean, look at him.
Bun down, shoe, bang, bang, I'm losing it! Mustard, pan, bun now!
Mr. Krabs sees that his fry cook clearly isn't taking the hit well, so he sends him home for some rest. But when he goes to check on him the next day, it's far worse than he could ever imagine.
Mr. Krabs, hello.
SpongeBob!
Do you how do?
Krabs stays with him and tries to convince him to come back to work because after all, no one can make fast food like SpongeBob. After a long time, SpongeBob cracks and figures he's ready to take on the challenge now after all. And of course, Bubble Bass isn't too far behind.
I hear SquarePants is back. I thought I ran you out of town.
I'm right here, Bubble Bass.
SpongeBob goes to the grills and whips up the most perfect pickle-filled patty of his career, so surely this will satisfy the big guy, right?
Still no pickles! See? You failed again, SpongeBob Loser Pants.
While he's busy gloating, SpongeBob realizes that Bubble Bass's tongue doesn't really move while he laughs. And then it hits him.
Look!
And there's the pickles from last time, too!
He's been hiding the pickles under his tongue the whole time.
And there's my car keys.
So he cheated SpongeBob the entire time. I guess the bigger they are, the harder they fall. And if Bubble Bass steps foot in the Krusty Krab again, he'll have an angry mob on his hands. Now, not all the big folk in Bikini Bottom are horrible people, like Pearl, for example. Sure, she was a little mean to SpongeBob earlier with the prom thing, and yeah, she can be a bit of a spoiled brat.
You shouldn't have! I mean, Dad, you really shouldn't have!
Pearl, those are the finest fishing boots available!
Dad, you ruined me!
But I got them for a bargain!
But when she gets something better than an old pair of $2 boots, she's actually pretty sweet.
Oh, Daddy! Mwah! You got me everything I wanted.
Oh, nothing's too good for me, daughter.
Mr. Krabs even gifts her the job of running the Krusty Krab, but she rips the identity out of the place and doesn't really like running it. So she asks SpongeBob to fire her so she can give up the job without having her dad to be the one to pull the plug.
Thanks, SpongeBob.
Hey, Mr. Krabs, I did it!
Come on, gang! Them all way!
She might only be 16, but Pearl is pretty tall. She's measuring in at about 1'3" inches, which for a whale is a little surprising. But we're not done with surprises just yet, because did you know that you can get bears under the sea? Well, in Bikini Bottom you can, and we first find out about the dangers of them in the camping episode. You know, the one where maybe the most famous SpongeBob song is sung?
Patrick!
Salt! C-A-U-P-F-A-R!
Squidward! Good! It'll help! It'll help! If you just sing along!
Well, let's get back to bears, or sea bears to be more specific. They do come in a range of sizes. I'd say on average you're looking at about 1'4" in terms of height, and they're armed with super sharp teeth and fins. Luckily though, they're super rare, but there are a few ways to attract them.
Never wave your flashlight back and forth really fast.
Flashlights are their natural prey.
Okay, then what? You're kidding.
Don't stomp around. They take that as a challenge.
Yeah.
Don't ever eat cheese.
Go on. Sliced or cubed?
Cubed, sliced is fine.
Yeah, and?
Man, these sea bears are attracted to a hell of a lot of weird stuff, and there's more.
Never wear a sombrero.
In a goofy fashion.
Or clown shoes.
Or a hoop skirt.
And never.
Ever.
Ever.
Screech like a chimpanzee!
Okay, it's good to know what not to do and all, but in what scenario would someone be wearing a sombrero in a goofy fashion while holding diced cheese and stomping? Well, I can think of one scenario, actually, the one where Squidward doesn't believe in sea bears and does the above to prove a point.
Just a feeling! Yes.
Squidward, please don't!
You all know what's about to happen, but before the inevitable sea bear comes in to tear Squiddy limb from limb, Sponge and Pat put themselves in an anti-sea bear circle. Basically, if you draw a circle on the ground, they can't hurt you.
Good thinking! All the experts say it's the only defense against a sea bear attack.
I'll draw us an anti-sea bear circle in the dirt.
Right on cue, the big brute shows up.
Squidward, are you okay?
So I guess the moral of the story here is, always believe in mythical creatures and constantly worry about them eating you. Wait, hold on, that can't be right. Oh no, it is. There's another mythical creature I want to look at next, and he's even scarier than a sea bear. It's the Flying Dutchman. Considering he's a supernatural ghost, it's kind of hard to gauge his height, because one minute he can be a similar size to SpongeBob.
Let me tell you about scary, kid. I'm scary. Spiders are scary. There's all kinds of scary things in the world.
And then the next he can be as big as this.
And I'll let you in on a little secret. You bet your lily white livers I'm the Flying Dutchman. I'm going to steal your soul.
But I think for being fair, the most accurate size to record him at is from the episode Shanghai, because he really doesn't switch up his size much here.
How about now? So, are you gonna try that again?
Probably.
Comparing Sponge and the gang to him, I'd say the Flying Dutchman here is standing at just over 2 feet tall, which is like 6 and a bit SpongeBob stacked on top of each other. But like I say, the Dutchman can make himself super big or super small depending on the moment. He can also make other characters bigger or smaller too.
Hey, fruit prevents scurvy. I get a wish too.
There's still one other mythical creature that's bigger than the Flying Dutchman, and he's just as powerful, if not more so, King Neptune. He's not too much bigger than the ghostly ghoul we just covered. I'd say he's about 5 inches taller, so Neptune stands at about 2 feet 6 inches, which we can see when he finds out that SpongeBob pulled the golden spatula from the grease.
I don't suppose you have any proof. Am I expected to believe this creature is royal fry cook material?
Basically, Neptune doesn't believe someone as small and pathetic as SpongeBob could be royal fry cook material, because that's the prize you get for pulling the spatula. So he challenges SpongeBob to an almighty cook-off, and let's just say Sponge is at a slight disadvantage. Neptune goes to town on SpongeBob, flexing his powers and whipping up some more patties than SpongeBob could ever dream of. Meanwhile, Sponge has been putting all of his blood, sweat, and tears into one patty. And as the old saying goes, it's quality, not quantity.
What makes you think his will be any better? Give me that! Why, it tastes so good.
Neptune has no choice but to give up and declare SpongeBob the winner. But when he makes SpongeBob a god in preparation for a lifetime in Atlas, he's hardly a good fit for the role.
I have another idea.
So the guys come to some other arrangement, which basically means showing Neptune how to cook the patties himself.
Can you excuse me?
Feel thine own wrath, stove! The accursed stove has burnt my finger.
What did I tell you about using your powers?
I suppose a bit of independence for the godly king of the sea can't be a bad thing. Neptune might be big, and believe me, he's bigger than most, but there's one creature that dwarfs them all in comparison, and we've already seen him today. The King Jellyfish. I told you that we'd be coming back to the Kevin episode, and for good reason. This big boy smashes the height chart, standing at around 80 inches or 6'6" in human height terms. Dang fricker's taller than me.
Nidaria Rex!
It's not even that far-fetched either, because the lion's mane jellyfish can actually measure as much as 120 feet in length. So good old Nidaria Rex is on the short end of the jellies here. But in Bikini Bottom, he is a titan. And we can now officially crown the King Jellyfish as Bikini Bottom's tallest creature, not counting mechs. But you never know. They say the ocean is only 5% explored, so there might be something much bigger lurking in the deep around town. That's all the Titan talk we have for you today, but if you're still wanting to soak up even more SpongeBob action, then check out the other videos we've made covering SpongeBob on our channel. Or if you're wanting a quick fix, click the video that's popping up on screen right about now. Thanks for watching.